Danish port city of Kolding, young lovers Dennis and Lila receive an exciting package.
I got mail.
It's a very special order of balloons. Dennis and Lila are having a party.
Would you blow that up for me?
Oh, yes.
But there are no kids invited. Because for this couple, balloon parties are a little different.
It's just like toys, actually.
Oh yeah, that's mine.
Like other people use swings and dildos. I can still do this. And all sorts of things. We can use balloons.
20-year-old IT consultant Dennis and 21-year-old design student Lila are part of a fetish subculture called Looners.
A Looner has a special interest for balloons. We use balloons as a sexual aid, and we see balloons differently than most other peoples do.
Fetish is a sexual attraction for something other than a normal sexual target.
You might think folks who love balloons are a crazy minority, but you'd be wrong. There are up to 250,000 Looners worldwide, from Europe and America to Asia and the Middle East. Lunar lads outnumber ladies by 30 to 1, and they are mostly young, in their 20s to 30s. But why balloons?
Balloons are brought out during special times, which would be one thing that would make it more likely to be a fetish object than something that you would see every single day. Part of the thing that makes a balloon a fetish, too, is the fact that it can look as though it's a sexual shape. Some balloons look very breast-like. Some balloons look very, very buttocks-like.
Dennis has been a Looner longer than Lila. He introduced her to the fetish when they met in 2012.
What turns me on about a balloon is mainly the expansion part of it. I am very fascinated that such a small thing can grow into being huge, and also still without having to explode. But it does, of course, occasionally.
Fetishes have a long history, though they're not always sexual.
The word fetish comes from a spiritual word in which an object is imbued with spiritual or religious significance. I think it was the anthropologist Malinowski who talked about fetishes as being really important parts of the tribal cultures that he studied, and their spirituality imbued any inanimate object with a kind of an animation.
It's the modern sex therapy definition of fetish that substitutes religious significance for sexual power.
Replace the spiritual animation with erotic animation, and you've got why we call them fetishes.
When he's not sharing his fetish with Lila, Dennis enjoys some private time with his balloons.
I like blowing up balloons while sitting on another, because then I can both get the feeling in between my legs. I can also have it in my hands and feel it against my chest, and also get the smell of it as well. It all stimulates me in a way that I really like.
Balloons have a sensuous quality to them. They can be squeezed and compressed. When you press them against the body, they feel a very particular way.
Unlike kids' balloons, which are made from cheap synthetic rubber, Dennis favors inflatables of premium natural latex, which is soft and smooth like skin and has a sweet scent. Color is also part of the experience.
Every color wakes up a feeling inside of me. The yellow color makes me happy. And then there is these red and black colors as well. That is more like, wow, I'm naughty, just do whatever you like to do with me.
Rubber balloons were invented in London in 1824, but they didn't really take off until a century later in America, with mass production. From parties to politics and Patriot Day parades, balloons made any function pop, and were even popular as props in the exotic dance routines of burlesque stars, like the pneumatic Sally Rand. By 1976, the first balloon fetish organization, Buster Bill's Balloon Buddies, had opened a mailing list to connect crazy lunar lovers across the land.
Okay, I'm trapped now.
Very often people's fetishes actually begin in their childhood. Before they eroticize anything, something has been exciting, frightening, notable in some really foundational way.
Many fetishes turn erotic during puberty, when an early sexual experience involves the fetish object. In Dennis's case, a balloon.
I was just continuing inflating this balloon and feeling it against my body, and then just suddenly it was just the most fantastic and extraordinary thing that I have ever tried. The way I felt after I found out I had this special interest in balloons was that I was a freak. I felt that I was standing out, and I felt most of all that I was alone.
And then he met Lila.
Lila and I met on internet page for people with different fetishes.
Lila's fetish was latex clothing, which meant they shared some common ground, and she fell for Dennis and his balloons in a big way.
I love that my man is big. I don't know. It's just who I am, and I love big things. I see the balloons a little bit like man, big man, that I'm trying to make a little love with.
The balloons equals the essence of our relationship, so to speak.
Yeah.
Today, it's Dennis and Lila's one-year anniversary, and they've planned a romantic evening, a meal at their favorite restaurant, then home to bring in the new year of their love with a bang.
We are doing something big here.
And it's called love.
Yeah. It's a very, very huge power of the universe that is magic.
Like the balloons.
If I had to choose between Lila and my balloons, then I would of course choose her first. Then I guess that if there wasn't any other way of doing it, then I could just hide it and do it by myself.
Dennis should rest easy, because according to Lila, there's nothing to worry about.
I'm just sure that we are going to be together for a really long time.